After 4 long months, Black Clover is finally back. Black Clover chapter 369, titled A United Front, has been released as the greatest Christmas present in recent memory. This chapter was filled with god-tier art, honored previous plot threads, answered a popular question, and gives greater clarity to the future of the series as a whole. Also, a massive hint into Lucius's plans that I don't see anyone else talking about. 28 pages of real shonen, an awesome poster, and much, much more. I've been waiting, you've been waiting, let's get into it. I will also be addressing some criticisms of the chapter because I really think people are just a little rusty on the preceding events and forming ill-informed opinions that are now spreading to the masses. If you guys end up enjoying this video, please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter or join my Discord link below in the description. Now, I'm going to be doing the majority of the breakdown assuming that you have already read it, so I implore you to go read the chapter if you have not yet. It's really easy to find, but I will give a brief summary. We get a little look into Asta and Nino fighting the Lucius clones, and they are stuck in a 4v2. But then we get to the meat of the chapter. That is Luck and Magna versus a Lucius clone and a squadron of angels. Using the borrowed anti-magic power and an improved soul chain deathmatch, Luck and Magna emerge victorious against the evil Wizard King. Just imagine if you took this image and put it into a time machine, sent it back in time to the Black Clover fandom 1 year ago, and give them no context, and just see the sheer chaos that would ensue at the thought of Luck and Magna being the ones to defeat Lucius. Anyways, there's a lot to talk about this chapter, and the first major one that I want to discuss is the anti-magic controversy, which, in my opinion, isn't really much of a controversy at all. Everyone is freaking out that this makes no sense, or this is a plot hole, or this wasn't foreshadowed. If you have not yet, please go watch this video in which I explain all of the foreshadowing that went into the anti-magic sharing that Tabata had been building ever since the beginning of the series. But I will give a briefer. Anti-magic has always been able to interact with magic when Asta was in control, and wanted to. This happened when he absorbed Gauche's power, and Sally said that this mere magic slash was made of anti-magic. We get later information that Asta can subconsciously decide when to not destroy magic, and that is how he was able to go through Finral's portals, which actually proves that anti-magic and magic do interact without destroying each other. We also see several times in the series that Asta imbues things with his anti-magic, like when he did this with Yami's katana. But Asta is able to do this because of his mastery of ki, helping with his anti-magic control, and pairing with the ability of the Demon Dweller sword. If you guys don't remember, in the Elf arc, Licht used the Demon Dweller sword to form a combo spell with Lumiere to give a bunch of the elves light magic. Asta is just using this ability of the sword and giving those that he has bonds with anti-magic. In this chapter, we don't get an in-depth explanation of how this works. Ichika states that the anti-magic takes on the properties of the magic of the Black Bulls, giving them a pseudo-anti-magic. When Asta first did this months ago, a lot of people thought that this was going to be a completely broken ability, but thankfully, this chapter showed that it's actually balanced, as this only gives the Black Bulls anti-magic temporarily. They each only have about 1 or 2 strong moves with it until they run out completely. Keep in mind that this also likely weakens Asta, as he's not even using Devil Union to fight alongside Yuno against the Lucius clones, likely because he doesn't have his full anti-magic power. He's given it to the Black Bulls, and he might not even be able to go Union. It'd be similar to how once Lumiere ran out of power, he could no longer spread his light magic to the other elves. So I actually think this ability has shown some good balance. It likely limits and weakens Asta, and it's only a temporary buff to the Black Bulls that gives them pseudo anti-magic. They basically have anti-magic fire or anti-magic lightning, or how it is translated as black fire and black lightning. The poster actually shows this, as with Magna and Luck using anti-magic, we see that their own personal magic is still leaking through. Magna's orange fire is still visible within the pseudo anti-magic, and so is Luck's blue lightning. And man, this was a phenomenal chapter. I don't think there was anyone expecting that this was going to be a Luck and Magna chapter. It's actually an amazing sign as a Black Clover fan. But one of my favorite moments is that this was a massive callback to earlier in the series and fulfilled a previous plot thread. Back in the Spade Saga, we were shown that Magna actually went to go train in the Heart Kingdom, but he was too weak to make runic arrays their way. Luck implied that Magna would be worthless if he could not get any stronger. As fans, we were a little concerned about this because this was a great friendly rivalry within the series. We did not want to lose it. But Magna worked his ass off and created Soul Chain Deathmatch, in which he used to defeat Dante with. The issue was that this was a one-time use spell, but through time and diligent effort, Magna not only recreated Soul Chain Deathmatch, but improved upon it and made Soul Chain Tag Deathmatch. This allowed for 4 separate chains and connections to be made, but it still essentially functions the same and splitting magic equally between the links. But finally, Luck and Magna have become equal once again, and because Magna actually did use Soul Chain just before, when he failed to use it on Paladin Damnatio, it might might be that there is no longer a limit for this spell, that it can be used multiple times over and over again, as that was like, what, minutes or hours ago in the timeline of the series. So at the very least, Magna can now use Soul Chain more often, which does make him a lot more relevant in the series again, which is something that I absolutely love. Magna did it. He renewed his rivalry with Luck once more. Man, Black Clover is back. Speaking of back, Tabata's art is better than ever. We have so many double spreads this chapter. The love that went into Luck's ultimate magic form is amazing. This looks so good. Like, I cannot even get over it. He looks like a demon, and it's just like, I just can't even believe how good it looks. I've spent time just looking through the page of the chapter and not even reading the writing, just admiring the beautiful art. Now, there's something that I noticed in this chapter that I have not seen anyone else notice, and I think it could be a little foreshadowing for Lucius's plan. In this chapter, Lucius states that there are dozens of angels, 3 archangels, which are paladins, and then 11 clones of himself. Now, 11. That's a lot. But we knew this many chapters ago when the whole clone thing was revealed, but let's count how many clones there were back then. There are 12 clones here, and these appear after Yuno already defeated one of the clones. So where is this missing clone? There are clearly 12, but Lucius says there's 11. I'm wondering if one of them is being sneaky. Did Lucius recall one of the clones or something? I mean, sure. It could very well be this was just an error, but that I also doubt. Tabata had over 4 months to make the chapter, and this would be something that I'd be surprised that him and his editor would miss out on in this new format. This would feel like a weekly series mistake, not a series that's been off for 4 months. If there were any questions about how many clones there were, they could just go back and look at the chapter and count themselves. I will admit that it's also possible that maybe one of the Lucius clones was defeated in the meantime here, but I just kinda doubt that. We never see a Lucius clone defeated, and from what we saw, the only person with any real potential to defeat a Lucius clone was Yuno. Noelle was struggling with Acier, and then 2 clones appeared around her. Don't get me started on Fagolion struggling with angels. He's not taking on a Lucius clone. Dorothy's not even there. She's in the Witch's Forest. Kaiser is a Kaiser. Nozel got, Yami's getting got, and Jack got ripped. Yuno was in the middle of fighting 2 Lucius clones, and when we see him again, there are still only 2 Lucius clones, and we even get Mark saying that Yuno could not beat 2 clones at once. If he had killed one, then that would mean that he had fought 3. I know, I sound crazy, but I've been known to look too deeply into things before and somehow discover something crazy. So keep on the lookout for the missing Lucius clone. Maybe he's chipping away at Never Neverland right now so that he can let the other clones use their time magic. There are a few criticisms of the chapter that I have seen floating around, and they are pretty laughable. But at the same time, I understand why people have these criticisms. It's been 4 months since the last chapter, and I think a lot of people have forgotten things. For example, people have been really disappointed with Lucius's foresight, especially the foresight of the clones. How was he not able to see Luck and Magna were going to do this to him? How did he not see that they were going to use the Soul Chain and just do anything he could to avoid it? Why, with time magic, could he not anticipate where the disappearing fireball was going to reappear? Well, I mean, the number one main reason for this is time doesn't flow in Neverland. While in Neverland, the time magic that the Lucius clones create are useless because Yuno actually controls the space to make it so the time doesn't even flow, rendering Lucius's most powerful magic, time magic, useless. Not only that, but we know that time magic cannot sense the future of anti-magic. That is the reason why he saw Asta as the massive flaw, because it threatened the futures he could see. This is doubled down on when he says that he just cannot even trust the future of this world because of Asta's influence on it. Well, imagine how much more Asta has influenced the world now by giving anti-magic to a bunch of other people. So not only can Lucius not use time magic in Neverland, nor can he sense the future of anti-magic, which Luck and Magna were using, but he also cannot trust the future of this timeline anymore. So while I get the criticism, it just doesn't hold weight. Another criticism that I saw is that the Lucius clones are not a threat anymore, and they are too easy to defeat. I just do not get this point. As of yet, there are only 2 Lucius clones that have been defeated. Only one, besides the one that Luck and Magna took down. If we look at how Yuno defeated Lucius clone, he needed to come out with his final spirit spell, and most importantly, activate Neverland to increase his power while also nerfing Lucius's magic power, and then also shutting off time magic. Beyond this, Yuno also needed to begin siphoning his own life energy, and that's what he needed to defeat a single Lucius clone. Now, let's go back to Luck and Magna. They both benefited from Neverland, as their Lucius clone was also nerfed and could not use time magic at all. Now, you can also argue that Luck and Magna were buffed by Neverland, even though they were using anti-magic. Since the Soul Chain was still able to buff their magic power with Lucius's, even though anti-magic was around them, you could argue that Neverland could still also buff them, because it's pseudo anti-magic. On top of this, Magna had to use his disappearing fireball, but this time, it had the magic homing properties of anti-magic attached to it, making it even more efficient at catching people off guard and hitting them. After hitting Lucius and an angel, we are told that this equates their magic power levels. Even with this, they still struggle to take down Lucius, but one of the things on their side was the anti-magic. We've known for a while that anti-magic has regeneration negation, and this was shown again because Lucius could not use his body magic to heal after he was hit with pseudo anti-magic. To top it off, Luck and Magna needed to perform a combo spell to actually defeat Lucius, in which it actually used up all of their remaining anti-magic power. That's a lot of resources pulled together to barely defeat a single Lucius clone. Again, I don't get how they are not threats. They are all threats. And then imagine if Neverland breaks and the Lucius clones return to full power and retain their time magic. Things are gonna get even crazier if that happens. Remember, Lucius did say that the Neverland was not going to last that long. So again, Luck and Magna needed to use up all of their anti-magic in a combo spell to attack a Lucius whom they've equated their magic power with, that Lucius already being nerfed to be weaker and not have time magic, and at the end of the day, they are just clones. I'm more concerned with the real Lucius. What's he cooking? One of the amazing things about this chapter is that it signifies that Black Clover is going to be going on longer than we thought. If you remember the state of the fandom 4 months ago, we were told that we were coping if we thought we were going to be getting anything more than 1 to 3 chapters to wrap up the story. Well, I personally thought that 1 to 3 was too short, and I still predicted that it's possible we could get as little as 4 chapters. 1 for each Paladin fight, and then 1 for the final Lucius versus Asta and Yuno fight. But this changes everything. Tabata spent an entire chapter on Luck and Magna. If he was rushing this to the end, he could have fit the entire Black Bulls, taking on various Lucius clones and winning, but he didn't. This leaves me to think that much of the other Black Bulls will get their time. When Black Clover went on hiatus months ago, they gave us a page hyping the 4 final fights: Morgan versus Nocta, Chica and Yami, Morris versus Miraliona, Austere versus Noel, and then Asta Nuno versus Lucius. At the time, we were expecting 40 to 50 page chapters because that is the normal format for Giga, but we only got a 28 page chapter this week. But the rumor is that there wasn't enough room in the Black Clover volume to include a 40 to 50 page chapter, and that's why this specific chapter was only 28 pages, which leads us to believe that future chapters for Black Clover will be 40 to 50 pages long. So I will make my prediction of how many chapters left under that belief. I believe we will have at least 1 big chapter to highlight the rest of the Black Bulls: Henry and Gordon versus a Lucius clone, Zora and Sekre, Anti-Magic Hybrid Charmy. You could feasibly cram all of that into 1 big chapter, but it'll likely take 2. On top of that, we have the 3 Paladin fights I mentioned earlier. I believe that all those fights will be done in 1 big chapter each, which puts our total number up to 5 chapters. And I don't see how Tabata would give the Paladin fights as much time as the massive Lucius final fight, so that will need at least 2 chapters as well, bringing the total up to 7. And then I think we could get a final chapter for the series for Tabata to finally show us the Asta versus Yuno fight that he's long teased, and then to wrap up the series with Asta becoming the Wizard King. That is 8 chapters, meaning that if Black Clover stays in Giga and maintains the release schedule of 4 chapters per year, that would mean Black Clover wouldn't end until 2026. Now, a lot of this can change. A lot of people are wondering if after 1 year of Giga, maybe Tabata will move magazines and then go monthly, which I would be down for that as long as Tabata stays healthy. Which some of the best news about this chapter is that Tabata did confirm that he is healthy again. He states this in the author note. That's really the best news we can get. I'm thinking that it's possible that we get something like every chapter is going to start with Asta and Yuno versus Lucius clones. We get a few pages of that, and then it's just going to go on to the next fight. A way for Tabata to slowly build up the fight of Lucius, because I doubt he's going to want his main characters and villain absent from the manga for years. It's not like they're Leopold. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the Black Clover chapter and my breakdown of it. There will be a lot more Black Clover discussions to come during our 4-month wait for the next Black Clover chapter. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also join my channel as a member to get access to videos early and more videos every single week. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Peace out.